Mark, did you know having sex with me is exactly like experiencing an earthquake? Not because I'll make the earth move, but because it lasts between a few seconds and a minute. There's a high likelihood I'll scream, and I'll leave you asking, "What the fuck was that?"
Can we get Lisa to confirm this, please?
it was pretty much Lisa who gave me that for this week.
That's even better.
Before we forget, you want to die tonight?
Hypochondriac with asthma is in there.
I just lose all sense of equilibrium and I don't know what's happening.
I'm gonna say 9 out of 10. Always enjoy watching it every time.
Windmills were fire hazardous.
You literally used the paycheck to pay for a house. That's all it was for.
Meeting someone for the first time, you wouldn't be talking like that.
Because he was so stoned, he'd like half fallen asleep.
You and Tasha are meant to be. I'll figure that shit out.
I just got fired yesterday. I'm free.
I swear to God, I'm gonna stick that wolf up your asshole.
Hello, welcome to the You Run podcast. My name is Scott.
My name is Marc.
And we are your go-to horror podcast for whenever you want us to review a horror movie for you. Do you have a horror movie you want us to cover? It's really easy. Call the show, ask for it. Guess what? At some point, we'll review it. It's easy to call the show. In the episode you're listening to now, wherever you're listening to it, at the bottom of the description, there's a link. Click that link. It takes you to where you can record a message. If you don't like that, you can do it on our website, yourunpodcast.com. Click on horror movie review, and there's a little button that says record as a voicemail. And if neither of those options take your fancy, send me an audio DM on Instagram, and it's at YouRunPodcast. While I'm talking about social media, we're at YouRunPodcast literally everywhere. So whatever is your social media platform of choice, go and type at YouRunPodcast. And type You Run Podcast wherever you want, and you will find us. We are there waiting. Along with picking the movies we cover by either asking us or voting for them in the polls on our Instagram page, you get to get involved in a load of other ways as well, like 3-word review, sound off, giving your scores of the movie. Lots of different ways you can get involved, and we give shout outs and thanks to everyone who does that. The most prestigious of all of these shout-outs.
Recommended account of the week.
So this week.
Softwin, Fuckatash.
I'll try that again. This week's recommended account is Richard Wilkinson Art. Richard Wilkinson Art is an artist and natural history lover. The reason why I find this account so unique is his artwork usually forms around some sort of creature or bug, or so if you imagine like a beetle or a scarab or something like that. But what he does is, I don't think he actually draws on these bugs. I think these are actually just artwork drawings that he's done. They are the paintings that he's done, but they genuinely look lifelike. So he's taken like the shape of a bug. If you imagine, I don't know names of bugs. I'm not David Attenborough, but if you imagine a bug, but on the back he's drawn the shell to basically look like famous figures in horror and sci-fi and cinema in general. So you've got things like the alien from Mars Attacks, you've got the creature from Creature of the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, you've got Christopher Lee's Dracula, Hannibal Lecter. I mean, the stuff is awesome. You've even got like the Death Star on one of them. It looks amazing. I mean, one of my favorites was I say it's one of my favorites. Can't remember which one it is now. Oh, it's the He-Man one. The He-Man. He's done like a He-Man and is it Grayskull? What's it?
Yeah, Castle Grayskull.
Not Castle Grayskull. Who lives in Castle Grayskull?
He-Man. Skeletor lives in Snake Mountain.
Oh, mate, shows how much He-Man stuff I know. But he's done the He-Man range as well. It looks incredible. Like, honestly, this stuff is definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. It really, really is. He's such a talented guy, and I think you can buy all this stuff and have like the poster arts and things like that he's created. But I spent hours just sitting looking through his profile and looking at some of the artwork that this guy's created. It's really, really clever and really, really good stuff. So the name is Richard Wilkinson Art. I found this guy actually on Facebook originally, so he has a Facebook account where he sells all of his stuff. That's where I originally found him, and then I come over to Instagram to find him on there, and that's the account I'm actually recommending to you now. So I'll say that one more time. It's Richard Wilkinson Art. It pops up straight away. You won't have no trouble finding it, but whatever you do, please take the time to go and check this guy out. And as always, if you do go there and you do like any of his stuff, make sure you comment in the picture and let him know who sent you.
Yeah, definitely do that. Now, I know Mark has mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again. Mark is inherently lazy. And if you've got an account that you feel is something you want shared, that you're a smaller account, that you want to get more people to follow you, or you're a huge account and you just want to get a free shout out on the podcast, message Mark directly at MW_horror_reviews. Give him the name of your account, say you want to be part of recommended account. Mark will go and check your page out, and provided you're of a certain standard and you're an account that is relevant to this show, please don't come on if you're selling, I don't know, kitten slippers, because that's not getting recommended. But if you're a horror...
to be honest, mate, I'm not too sure. If it means I don't have to go scouring the net, it's an easy week for me. It might get recommended.
So next week's recommended account is Kitten Mittens 4. And if there is
which is Elise's secondary account, by the way.
Yeah, and if there is an account called Kittens Mittens 4, you just got a free shout out. Everyone's gone to look for you. We have no guest this week. But don't worry, because I've got a plan. I've always got a plan.
That always ends badly for me. I don't like the sound of this already.
Well, later in this episode, we're going to play a game. When I say we're going to play a game, Mark's going to play a game, and it's a new fun game that he's not played before. So stick around.
I don't mind them if they're fun. But if you're just going to be cruel for the sake of being cruel.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a fun game. You'll like it.
Right, okay.
And if you don't, the listeners will like it. So either way, I win. This week, we're talking on a poll-picked movie and a cult classic. The movie will shake you to your core, leave you rattled, and definitely through no fault of its own, be a groundbreaking experience for everyone. Kevin Bacon leads the cast in this B-movie gem, so get those legs trembling as we dive into what I think is the sole inspiration for the entire Quiet Place franchise, 1990s Tremors.
That was massively pun-centric, that, wasn't it?
Great, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was it?
Let me know if you liked my puns. I will do them more often. Anyway, here's the trailer.
Perfection. A scorched outpost in the middle of nowhere.
You know how close I am to leaving this place right now? How close?
Maybe that's why Val and Earl decided to leave town.
Hey, hold up. That's Edgar Deans.
They just picked the wrong day to do it.
Jeez. You guys better get the hell out of here. There's a killer on the loose. Who could be doing it?
Is that a snake?
I'll give you boys $5 for this. 20. That's how they get you. They're under the ground. What the hell are those things? How could they eat a whole station wagon?
But where do they come from?
I vote for outer space. No way these are local boys. You see, they're headed right for us.
No Richter scale can measure it.
They're coming!
No scientist can explain it.
Bert, they're under the ground.
You didn't get penetration even with the elephant gun.
Run, run!
And no one knows what to call it.
Megaworms or suckers or suckoids. Now, this valley is just one long smorgasbord.
Now, it's up to Val and Earl to save the world.
That's one big mother. Who died and made you Einstein?
And they know just what to do. Flip for it.
Damn.
Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Tremors.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed already, but I'm quite happy today. I love our listeners today because they picked this movie. I'm not even going to try and hide it. I like this movie a lot. The listeners picked it and then scored it a 7 out of 10. We want you to do this movie. It's great. It's a 7.
What was this up against in the poll? Can you remember?
What did it beat?
It was a strong week as well.
Yeah, it beat something that's, I can't even remember what it was, but it beat something that was noteworthy that I was convinced Tremors wasn't winning.
No, I was adamant that Tremors wasn't winning this week.
Yeah, and then Tremors won. I go, oh, okay, that's cool. I like that. Stick around at the end of the episode where you'll get mine and Mark's scores. You'll also get all of your input to this episode as well. As always, it's a spoiler-heavy review. this came out in 1990. And if you haven't seen this, quite frankly, do better, Mark.
Oh, mate, to be honest, I was 1 year old when this came out.
Fuck off.
I might depend on what time of the year it came out. It came out early on in the year. I might have only been a few months old.
Do you know how devastating that is to me?
Maybe that's how I should lead each week. If we just talk about what film and what year it came out, and I tell you how old I was when it came out, just to crush your soul.
that's terrible. I was on my way to starting secondary school when this came out.
Wow.
God, I feel old. Well, let's not dwell on that. The movie starts with us meeting Valentine, who's played by Kevin Bacon, and Earl, who's played by the late Fred Ward, who sadly died earlier this year. And I loved Fred Ward. I was devastated when he died.
Yeah, but he's a weird guy, isn't he? He's a weird looking. Do you know who he reminds me of? Shane from The Walking Dead.
Yes.
He reminds me exactly. If someone had told me that he was actually his dad, I'd be like, yeah, I'd believe it.
Yeah. Have you Googled that he's not before you're saying that?
You know I don't do much research. No, I haven't Googled anything. But it's weird, though, because he's one of those guys whose hair just grows straight up from his head.
Yeah.
Like a crew cut.
Yeah.
And it was weird, like, because I just was watching him and I was like, you literally look like one of my dad's friends who props up a bar. You don't look like an actor or act like an actor. You look like you belong holding up a pub.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, that's his whole thing. Every role he's played, he's always been a very natural character. Even in this, there's some wild characters in this. I'd say he's probably the most normal out of the bunch.
Grounded, definitely, yeah. I haven't seen him in much else.
No, I haven't, to be fair, but I do like him.
Yeah. Is he in any of the sequels and stuff? Or
he's in the second one. I think he might be in the third one. It's been a long time since I ploughed through the 8, 9.
Wow,
I think there's 9.
So this has done very well then.
Yeah, I love this franchise. You come in my room in the morning after For Love of Horror, and I was watching Tremors 4 when they go back to the Wild West. Tremors 4, the beginning.
Oh God, that was a rough morning. I did not need to see that.
Oh, it was good. I enjoyed that. Both of these characters are amazing. You've got Earl, who's like an older, wiser, like advice-giving, like dad character to Val. And Val is young and full of energy and, quite frankly, doesn't really give a fuck what Earl thinks or what Earl says.
Kevin Bacon looks good, by the way. He looks good in this film.
He looks young in this film. Very young.
Yeah.
This is not...
Very spiffy.
Yeah, it's not EE advert. Kevin Bacon.
No. Have you seen the latest one where he's got like the goatee and the Halloween one? He looks like a zombie. I was like, dude, eat a sandwich.
I get Tucker and Dale vibes from these two.
Yeah, I get the character dynamic. What is the relationship between them? Is it ever explained?
They're friends, is the gist of it.
But like Kevin Bacon's like 20 and Al's like surely pushing his 50s.
Yeah, I think there's more to it, but I can't remember. It's not explained in this movie, and I don't think it's explained in 2. I don't think.
Yeah, I just didn't know whether he maybe just like worked for Earl and then they work together. Like you have that kind of dynamic, don't you? Sometimes.
Yeah. Do you have this dynamic with your apprentice?
Yes, I do. Oh, mate, he drives me mad. He infuriates me daily. I listen to like Absolute Radio 90s at work or like Smooth Radio. I can't stand all this new jazz bollocks that comes out. And all we argue about all day is like, oh, Alf, he's called Alfie. It's like, oh, Alf, this is a banger. You like this song? Oh, I've never heard it. I've never heard this. I'm like, how have you never heard this song before? It drives me up the wall. Like, it's George Michael. He's like, who's George Michael? I'm like, you're 18 years old, but I will smack you.
Yeah, I forced both of my teenage boys to sit down and watch Tremors. Yeah. When I said I was watching Tremors, and Kay's like, what's Tremors? I was like, sit. And he kind of done this, like, you know when teenagers do the shoulder roll? Like, he'd done that, and then he sat there, and he was going, this is actually quite good. I know. Shut up. I'm trying to watch it.
Yeah, I'm going to bring my daughter up to be well educated in the verses of cinema and music. I will not have her get to the age of 18 years old and not know who George Michael is. No,
they're good parenting. Well done. Gold star for you.
That's all I'm putting my efforts into.
Yeah. These two guys they're odd job people. They'll fix a fence. They'll take out the rubbish. They'll do literally anything to earn a bit of money in the little town they live in. They're not good handymen. Him putting in that fence, how frustrated was that for you as a chippy, watching him try to hit that nail?
Oh, honestly, I love it when actors try and portray stuff like that. And you can tell that I mean, obviously, some people dedicate themselves to the role, but in a film like Tremors, he hasn't thought to himself, oh, there's a scene where I'm going to have to use a hammer. I'm going to have to go learn how to use it.
Well, there's a bit in facts later that you'll appreciate a lot.
Oh, right, okay.
About that. When I say they're in a little town, we get a shot of the sign of the town called Perfection, which is where they live. It's got a population slightly larger than where Mark lives, which astounded me. There's a population of 14.
Dude, my town's pretty big. I've just been to the Christmas fair tonight. They've just done the light switch on, so I'm feeling very festive.
When you say you went to the Christmas fair, you opened your front door into the town. I went, oh, there's the Christmas fair, and then closed it again.
Dude, it was massive. We had like fireworks and all sorts. And do you know who else was there? Tina from S Club 7.
S Club.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Before we get too deep into this movie, I'm going to tell you now we're not doing this play by play. And if you've seen this movie, you'll understand why. If you haven't seen this movie, one, go and watch it. Why are you listening with not watching it? Two, if you are going to stick around, the reason we're not going play by play is they spend huge swathes of time in this movie hiding out on rocks, hiding out on the top of buildings, and generally not doing a great fucking deal. So a lot of that we're going to skim over.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest gripes with this. It is the pacing issues. I think it got to like 48 minutes, and I was like, oh, I'm expecting the credits to be any minute now. And I looked, so it was like still another 50 minutes to go. I was like, shit. What? I don't understand what can happen from this point on.
No, and there are bits in this that do drag. Let's be honest, they could have cut this to a short, about 55 minutes long, and it still would have told the same story.
I mean, even if they just added a bigger population to the town, they might have had more story to be able to develop.
I don't think the budget allowed a bigger population than 14.
Right.
Val and Al meet a seismologist called Rhonda on their travels around the town. She's a student and she's studying earthquakes and tremors in the ground, hence the name. Earl tries to convince Val to ask her out, but Val has other ideas of what his perfect woman should be. She should be blonde, have manicured nails, big breasts, and legs that go on for miles. It's not necessarily my type, but I can see his logic.
You're a fine man. Sure, you love legs that go on for miles.
I do, and I can see why he looked at Rhonda and went, no, because she's got like inch-thick sun cream on her nose. She's got a bright white nose.
I mean, she's a very, very attractive woman, and it was clear that they dolled her up to not look attractive for this introduction to Val.
Yeah, they'd done everything they could short of sticking a Halloween mask on her to make her look ugly.
Yeah.
Rhonda asked the two if there's any drilling going on because she's getting some weird readings, and Earl says he'll keep an eye out and let her know. We cut to one of the most disgusting things I could ever think happening. Earl and Val are cleaning out a septic tank. So they do a couple of odd jobs, but they're cleaning out a septic tank while they're both discussing that they're fed up of living in perfection. They're not really getting anywhere, and the pipe bursts, spraying them with shit.
Literally.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And I can deal with a lot. There's one thing that will instantly get my gag reflex going, and that's shit going everywhere.
Like other people's shit going everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, even like I've got kids and I've done nappies. When I done a nappy, I would have like a wet wipe tucked under my nose, and I would gag the entire time, every time.
Stuff like that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot. So this scene for me, I'm like, oh no. This pipe bursting is the final straw for these two, and they pack up their broken truck. Their truck has had it. Put all their possessions in it. They decide they're going to leave the town. On their way out of town, they spot the town drunk who's sat on top of an electricity tower, and they try calling him. He's not answering. So Val goes up to get him, and he's dead. He died of dehydration. They take him back to the town, where the doctor says that, well, he died, and he died of dehydration because he wouldn't come down. and they make the assumption that he was chased up there, but they don't know what by.
Yeah.
And I quite like this setup. I liked the way they got them back to the town.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, and obviously it served a purpose for making a return. I was just surprised at how quick they came to the conclusion that something had chased him up there. I mean, they live in the desert. There is fuck all out there in this place for miles and miles around.
Yeah. What other conclusion could you come up with?
Well, nothing. That's what I'm saying. It was very convenient.
We jump over to a doctor and his wife, and they're living. So after the doctor's basically said that he died of dehydration, we cut to see a bit of the doctor's home life, and him and his wife are building a house, and they're living out of a trailer, and they're sat there looking at the stars and going, "Oh, this is great. We're going to live like this forever." And then all their power goes off, and he traces the cable for the generator, and they pulls the cable. The generator's gone. Yeah. The generator then gets spat out of the ground, and he gets like, I don't know, just like swallowed into the ground.
Yeah, he tries to run to the car, him and his wife, and as he's running, he gets sort of got basically, and basically like he's in sinking sand, and then he slowly falls into the ground, causing his wife to panic and run and lock herself in the car.
Yeah, and this is where we get to see the first kind of real look at the creature. We get these tentacles that look like, I'm going to say what they look like. They look like cocks with mouths banging on the window.
I'm not as crude as you. I was going to say like Snakehead from Medusa. But yeah, let's go with cocks with mouths.
Again, that will come round in facts. There's a reason I've named them that. She locks herself in the car, and what they do is they swallow the car into the ground. And you see the car sink and disappear. Back in the town, Earl and Val are still intent on leaving. They've had enough of Mark's hometown. They're still going. So they set off again, agreeing to pop in and see the doctor on their way out. As they travel, they go past some road workers digging up the road. And they literally drive past them. It's not an important scene. They literally drive past and carry on. When they get to the doctor's place, they find his severed head under Freddy Krueger's fedora. Did you spot it was Krueger's fedora?
No, I didn't. Was it just a fedora?
No, it actually had burns around the rim as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice little nod to Freddy Krueger. They freak and rush back to the town. So this is the second time they're going back to the town. And as they go past the road workers, they're like, "You two need to get out of here. There is a serial killer on the loose." And again, I love this jump to conclusions instantly. There's a serial killer. You must leave.
Yeah.
Because they also find the car, don't they, when they're like kicking around in the sand.
Yeah, they find it buried under the ground because the lights and the radio are still on.
Yeah. Yeah, because they can hear the music, and then they uncover the headlights, and they're like, "Oh, how did that?" And that's when they go zooming back to the town. They get back to the town and basically report it. They try calling the police. They can't get hold of anyone. They tell the local shop, and then basically go, "We're still going, by the way. We're off now." And they're now on their third trip out of the town. This is very much like some of my work days.
Yeah, you're constantly on the road, aren't you?
Yeah, this is very much. I've done it before. I've driven 50 miles away from home and realised I've forgotten the site pack that I'm going to site to deliver, and had to come home and get it, and then driven away again and gone, "Oh, fuck, I've left my vape pen," and come back again. I've done that loads of times. As they get back to where the roadworks were, the road workers, or the road is blocked by an avalanche, what looks like an avalanche, and they find just like guts and stuff of the road workers splattered all up the rocks.
Yeah, I was quite surprised at how graphic and gory these scenes were, really. I mean, I know we don't necessarily see many kills throughout. In fact, we don't really see any. But the aftermath that they show on screen is still pretty gory.
Yeah, and we do see
the severed head and stuff, wasn't it? It was pretty like...
Yeah, I mean, the severed head, I'm not going to lie, the severed head didn't look great, but it was still a severed head.
No, but I mean, this is a 12, is it? A 12A?
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely not an R.
No, so I was quite surprised to see it, considering the age rating on this thing, how gory it was, really. No, it's not a gory film, but like you see...
Yeah, this isn't Terrifier.
No, but the guy who was crushed by the avalanche, it's not like you just see a bit of red mist on the floor. Like, you can see organs and hearts and innards all over the side of the rocks and stuff, which I was like, oh shit, that's pretty graphic.
Yeah, again, it's done in a way that they don't show you anything. They just show you a bit. And that's enough. Let our brains fill in the blanks. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
They get back in their truck and then decide to go back to town again. And their truck is stuck. And they think it's stuck on the rocks. And Val revs the shit out of that truck to get it to finally go free. And they bumble off back to town. They go to the town shop, which is a shop, bar, restaurant. What else does he do? Medicine.
It's literally an all-in-one, I think. It's a quickie mart, basically.
Yeah, but it's got a proper bar in one side, like where you would serve the customers like they're coming in to buy their groceries. Next to that, there's a couple of bar stools and some pumps.
Yeah, it's like a weird diner bar thing, isn't it? It's strange. But the owner of the bar is none other than Gizmo's dad.
No, it's not.
No, don't tell me.
No, I thought it was, and it wasn't. And then I went and looked, and it's the bad guy from Big Trouble in Little China.
No, he has a lazy eye and everything. It's definitely Gizmo's dad.
No, it's not. I checked it.
So the little blonde girl's definitely the blonde girl from Jurassic Park, right?
Yes, she is definitely the little girl from Jurassic Park. But yeah,
being a usual stereotype against the Chinese people again. Apologies.
Yes, it wasn't Mr. Miyagi, and it wasn't the guy who sold Gizmo either. I thought the same as you. I went with both of those two first. I actually put Karate Kid in my notes, and then I thought I'm going to check that just to be sure.
Yeah, well, I didn't think Karate Kid, but it was straight away. And then he had the lazy eye and stuff. I was like, I'm sure that is because obviously Gizmo's dad has a white wig and a white beard. I'm like, I'm sure that's the same guy.
Yeah, Gizmo's dad is the most stereotypical Chinese person you'll ever see in a movie, to the point it's so racist, it's untrue.
Yeah, and I thought he was the same guy.
Yeah,
I can't believe that.
No, it's not. Mark genuinely can't believe it because I can see he's looking down there to Google it because he thinks I'm lying.
Genuinely Googling like who this guy is. Where is he? Oh, well, he hasn't. Victor Wong, is that him?
That's him.
Movies.
Bear with listeners.
You're lying to me, but I'm just.
Yeah, bear with listeners. Mark's saying I'm lying.
I'm not saying you're lying. I want you to be lying.
This is the trust level we have on this show.
It's really not him, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not. Well, I am very, very sorry.
Yeah, how dare you? Anyway, when they get there, on the bottom of their truck, they find what looks like a weird snake. Mr. Wong convinces them to sell it for $15. Instantly, next scene, Mr. Wong is charging $3 for a photo with the snake.
Val and is it Fred? Fred's the actor. Val and Elle are then like, oh god, I knew we shouldn't have sold it for $15.
Yeah, because we're saying that even with a population of 14, he's not making a huge profit, but he's definitely getting more than $15. Mr. Wong's maths is better than theirs.
Yeah, I like the dynamic between between Elle and Val. It's really, really funny, and they are definitely the most comedic elements of this film. I think the character interactions between the two of them is done on a level that you don't necessarily see anymore. I think you struggle to find that in a film these days.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil, you get it. I'd say you get it in Shaun and the Dead with Shaun and Ed. That buddy relationship is really hard to do and make it look genuine. But these two, you believe that they care for each other, but they still give each other a load of shit. I really like their dynamic.
But it's a thing that they used to get nailed time and time again in the 80s and the early 90s. Like every other film used to have this perfect buddy comedy. You just don't get it anymore. I struggle to find films that can do it as well as this does.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going back to the 80s, you're talking Lethal Weapon and you're talking Beverly Hills Cop and those kind of buddy.
Yeah.
And they're all great as well. Now, what I'm about to say is tripping into the realms of being incredibly racist. And I don't mean it to be. I'm stereotyping an entire nation now, but we meet Bert and Heather. And this is literally how I imagine every single couple who live in Texas are.
Don't ask me to pass opinion on that.
No, I know it's wrong, but in my head, when someone says Texan couple, it's Bert and Heather. That's what I envisage.
I think she's like a country singer or something like that. She's really, really famous.
Yeah,
like really famous. She's the only reason I recognise her is because she's in Do you watch Young Sheldon by any chance?
Yes, she's the
she's ex-wife of Mars' new partner.
Yeah,
she's great in that as well. And as soon as she came on, I was like, wow, you were really attractive when you were younger.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and Bert is brilliant. So he's ex-military, and they have like this, I don't know, nuclear-proof fallout shelter of a home up in the mountains, and he's always like reminiscent of war, and he's like carrying big guns all the time, and I think he's great. His character I genuinely love, and he's the only character to appear in every single Tremors movie.
Oh, so he comes back, does he?
Every single time, even in the Wild West, he's in the Wild West. He's not playing the same character, but he plays an ancestor of Bert.
Oh, right, okay.
He's great. I think he's a fantastic character in this. Val and Earl ride off as fast as they can to get with horses now, because they decide they need to get help. They can't get help on the phone. So Mr. Wong gives them a couple of horses, and they gallop off into the desert until the horses are spooked. One of them gets attacked by the creature. I didn't like this. I didn't like seeing the horse get taken down.
It reminded me of the first episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I really didn't like it. I was like, oh no, poor horse.
Yeah.
Go kill one of the people in the town. Leave the horse alone. Why is it as horror fans we do that? You can massacre an entire village, but if you kill a dog, a cat, or a horse, we're like, you bastard. I hate you now.
It is so strange, isn't it? The way we just attach ourselves to animals, yet we watch the most violent and depraved things on possibly put to screen.
Like we watched Art the Clown do all those horrific things in Terrifier 2. If he'd have done that to a dog, I'd have been going mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental. Anyway, the creature chases Earl and Val, and I love how they show it moving under the ground, where you get like these puffs of smoke, where they didn't have budget to do much else. So the puffs of smoke coming out of the earth denotes where the creature is under the ground.
I like this. One thing I took major issue with is the point of view camera work that they use. Where they do the POV and the camera's floating across the top of the ground, like he's chasing the characters. These things are underground. These things are underground. The POV is completely pointless. And the thing is, as well, later on, towards the back half of the film, we actually see some of the stuff of them burrowing underground, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
You see like the actual underground stuff where it's like roots from the plants underneath them, and they're tunneling through. And it looked great. And I was like, oh, God, I wish they'd have done that all the way through, because that POV stuff where it's literally the camera running across. It's like the Evil Dead kind of stuff where the camera follows. I'm like, yeah, but they're underground, so this makes no sense for me to be seeing what the
unless the creatures have got some sort of periscope that they're using to show.
Yeah, and it was frustrating me, and it had no reason to frustrate me because it wasn't worthy of my attention. But it was like, that is so fucking annoying every time it did it.
I love the fact that's your takeaway. That's what annoyed you.
Yeah, literally, that is all that really annoyed me about this film. I'm not gonna lie.
Earl and Val run towards I don't know how to describe it. It's like a concrete ditch. I'm guessing it's got some sort of runaway for water, and they jump
it's like
over
a sewer system, isn't it? Yeah,
they jump over it, and the creature hits the concrete and dies. Which I was like, oh, it died really easily. Rhonda turns up at this time, and we finally get to have a look at the creature. Mark, take it away. How did this creature look to you?
I really, really liked it. It kind of had like the main jaw of like a scarab beetle, or like I can't really, as I said already with my recommended account of the week, I'm no David Attenborough, but you know, like the blue beetles that you'd see in like The Lion King or something like that. And it, like the horn front, it looked really, really good. It was basically like a dinosaur is the best way to describe it, with a tentacle tongue. But I was really impressed by the puppetry of it all. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, I think it holds up fairly well, considering how old this is. It's still, you don't look at it and go, that's crap. You go, that's quite good. And then you take into account it's 1990 and you go, that's really good.
That's why I appreciate practical effects over CGI any day, because this puppetry work, for all we're mocking it and be like, yeah, they clearly don't have the budget for that. But if they'd have just overlaid it with some crappy CGI effects, we'd be like, this is fucking awful. I hate this film.
Yeah, exactly that. We now get some more leaps in realization. So this is where Rhonda realizes, just out of the blue, that this is what's causing the tremors on her seismographs. And based on where she's picked up reading, she now knows there are 3 more of these. And I
don't
like
understand how she worked out there was 3 more.
Because she had 4 different readings in 4 different places, all happening at the same time.
Have you just assumed that that's what
happened? No. She does say that.
Did she really, though?
Yeah, she does really say that.
I'll Google it again if I have to.
No, you can, but Google it after, because we can't keep asking the listeners to hold, please. This is where they're chased by these creatures as they make this realization, and they're chased over to some rocks. They realize on the rocks that they react to sound and vibrations. Hence my comment at the beginning of the show, A Quiet Place ripped off this idea. They did.
I'm not convinced, but carry on.
This bit is dull as fuck. They're trapped on the rocks for a very, very long time. They have lots of pointless conversations about how they're going to get off the rocks. They sleep on the rocks overnight, and then they find perfectly sized, perfectly round poles next to the rocks that allow them to pole vault from rock to get to Rhonda's truck. It is the laziest. I completely
forgot how long that scene went on for until you told me that they slept on the rock. I completely forgot they did a sleepover there as well.
Yeah, they have an overnight stint. And this is the laziest writing ever. How do we get them off the rocks? I don't fucking know. Let's get them pole vault. Where are they going to? We'll just put some poles next to the rock. It's fine. No one will
It'll
notice.
Look great in the trailer, honestly.
And stupidly, where they're pole vaulting, that did look quite good. I quite liked that.
Yeah, I did as well. That's what I mean. It was literally a scene for the trailer.
As they pole vaulted into the truck, did you notice how badly Kevin Bacon stacked it?
I thought it was Fred who stacked it. One of them stacked it straight into the side of the van and rolled over. I was like,
yeah, it was Kevin Bacon. One leg went one side of the truck, one leg went outside of the truck, and he just landed in a heap. And I laughed a lot.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they clearly only had one take for this.
Yeah, and there wasn't a stuntman. Well, there was a stuntman on this, but that was a Kevin Bacon. I can do that. And then ended up stacking it into the back of the truck.
I have to imagine that the director was like, yeah, we offered you a stuntman. You said, no, that is staying in the film now, you dickhead.
Yeah, I imagine Fred Ward would have said something very similar.
Yeah.
After he'd stopped laughing.
Oh, honestly, I wouldn't have been able to concern myself because he does as well. And I noticed it straight away. He proper stacks into the side of the van. I was like, oh, that looked like it really hurt your ribs.
But it does make it look more believable as well. It's like, they get back to the town, and literally as they get there, the creatures arrive and make themselves known, and everyone ends up getting up on top of roofs. There's a cool scene amongst this where we get the pogo stick girl who Mark mentioned earlier, who's the little girl from Jurassic Park. And she's pogoing up and down, and Val runs out and saves her. And that scene was really cool. The rest of this 28-minute long scene is just dire.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Dawn of the Dead remake, where they're just walkie-talking back and forth, and it just goes on for ages. It's really, really, really dull. But again, there's not a lot of substance to this film, so there isn't much you can cut. I mean, I talk about it like the pacing suffers, but it is only about an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But it feels like a 2-hour film.
It does, and they spend a lot of time on there talking to each other, and they're radioed to Heather and Bert, who are back in their fortress house, and nothing really happens. I say nothing happens. Nothing happens until they decide they need to get off the roof. And Mr. Wong starts the mini tractor to lead the creatures away from the town. Mr. Wong died, which I wasn't very happy about. But
no, he got taken out.
Yeah, he gets taken out, and Mr. Val. Fucking hell. Val makes a run for the mini digger. It's like a bulldozer. And cut a long story short, he gets to the bulldozer and he gets everyone on it, and they start driving up to the fortress house where the stereotypical Texans live.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about that scene like it drags out, but there is a lot that goes on. I mean, they start off in the shop, and one of them bursts through the floor in the shop, and Rhonda ends up on a water cooler on her own and knocks a pipe to flood water to draw attention away from Kevin Bacon. There is a lot that's going on, but the reason we're skipping over it is because it doesn't feel like a lot's going on in those moments.
It genuinely doesn't. We do get one scene which I absolutely love, and it happened in this bit, and I'm going to go back to it now, is where they're radioing to, they start like a bullet sorting machine back at Camp Texas, and it causes vibrations, and they're radioing like mad, going, whatever you're doing, turn it off. And then one of these creatures bursts through the wall, and it turns into like a 1980s action movie as they open this cupboard to more guns than you've ever seen in your life, that they just stand there and unload on this creature for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Men in Black where they go into that woman's flat and lift up the wall, and then it's just a shed load of guns, and they just load up, and they just start unloading, and then he gets that big ass fucking shotgun rifle with like the bullets like bananas. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and even that takes like 4 or 5 shots to kill it dead.
Yeah.
If you are keeping count, there are now 2 creatures remaining. So we had 4, 2 have now died. Val gets the bulldozer up to the house. He collects Bert and Heather, and they come away from the house with an absolute shit ton of homemade explosives. And they have a scene on the roof where they're arguing what gun they should take. And his wife's like, just take them all. Heather's like, just take all of them. Don't leave any behind. Take the big one. Take that one too. Yeah, and the machine gun. Don't forget all those sticks of dynamite we've sat on the roof making for 20 minutes as well.
It's fantastic. I really love these 2.
They're really, really good. As they're driving away, the creatures are very intelligent. So they try a couple of times to pull the bulldozer under, and they can't. And then they get in front of it, and they basically ambush it. And it sinks in, and they end up back on rocks again. At which time I just went, oh, fucking really?
And it drags out again.
It does. This is so drawn out. There's a bit that makes me laugh where Bert's like, now, if it's starvation or dehydration, I'm going to take one of these sticks of dynamite. I'm going to walk out there, jump up and down, and let one of the bastards take me and explode it.
A proper hero.
Yeah, and this is where Earl goes, I've got an idea. Let's go fishing. And really good plan. They start throwing rocks at one spot, and Earl's got a stick of dynamite attached to a rope, which I don't know where they got from. And he swings it round and like hits it and like drags it across the ground until one of the creatures takes it, and then he lets it go and the creature goes boom.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely
but I like
brilliant.
The way that, before we get to this next bit, it's important that we mention that throughout the past sort of 20 minutes, 25 minutes, Kevin Bacon is subtly trying to explain to us all that these creatures are adapting and they're learning, which will make more sense as to what happens next. So the first one has taken the bait and he has swallowed the dynamite and blew up underground.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I'll let you take the next one.
They tried doing this again, and I laughed a lot when this happened. I kind of saw something happening, but I didn't see this. So the creature takes the dynamite again and like goes shooting off into the ground. It then like rears its head up and spits the stick of dynamite onto the rocks. I laughed.
Onto the bag of other explosives.
I laughed a lot. Again, really lazy writing, but I genuinely appreciated it. It was like, that's great. That's so good. They all scatter from the rocks, as you would, because you don't want to be there when that explodes. Everyone gets back to the rocks, apart from Val, Earl, and Rhonda, who pretty much run back to town. They are so fucking far away from the rocks. I didn't understand why they went so far away. They were literally like in the distance, specks looking from the rocks.
To be fair though, these bombs that they made are like they're like nail bombs, aren't they? It's full of like metal ball bearings. I mean, that you did not want to be around. That would shred you like a slice of cheese.
Did you notice there was one person who didn't leave the rocks?
No, I didn't.
It was Bert.
Did he not?
No, Bert was like, everyone take cover, and then literally stands next to the bag of dynamite as it goes off.
And he was all right.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah, of course.
He's from Texas. They have one stick of dynamite left, which Val has got with him. And Val, Earl, and Rhonda are left out in the open. And this creature's like right by Val's foot, and they're all screaming at him to light the dynamite and throw it in the creature's mouth. He's like, no. He's like, I've got a plan. And then he just runs. Doesn't tell anyone what he's doing, just runs. And Earl's like, fuck, if you're running, I'm running too. And then Rhonda's like, I've got the lighter.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Val's frantically looking for a lighter, and Rhonda's like, "Oh shit! I suppose I better run as well. I've got it." They get to like the edge of a cliff, and Val's like, "Give me the dynamite." He lights it and he throws it behind the creature, and I was like, "You missed." And he's like, "No, I didn't." And this thing speeds up, but it doesn't speed up. They speed the film up. So if you look at all the clouds go from like casually drifting to like whizzing past at like 30 miles an hour.
I didn't notice that at all.
The creature like storms him, and at the last minute he jumps out of the way and it falls. It comes out of the cliff and falls to its death.
I loved this. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was so clever, really clever, the way it just burst out the side of the cliff, because it's underground, so it doesn't know where.
Yeah, it's got no idea where it's going. That's how the first one died.
Yeah, so it charges underground, sort of like maybe 2-3 foot from the top of the ground, and just bursts out the side of this canyon and just falls about 60-70 feet and just splats at the bottom. I was like, amazing.
And it looks good as well. The splat looks great.
Yeah, it like completely folds in half on itself, and you got like this, like you would if you crushed a slug or something like that. Like all this oozy green stuff just comes out the side of it. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
And they are very slug-like creatures. They've got like little spines on them that help them dig through the dirt.
Yeah.
They look great. They all live happily ever after. Well, kind of. Earl convinces Val to try and take Rhonda out on a date, and they share a kiss before we get a final shot of the dirt moving. So we know there's at least one left. And that, my friend, is the end. One thing I didn't mention throughout this movie, and I deliberately didn't mention it, is throughout the movie, Val and Earl are always playing rock, paper, scissors to decide who does what. So it's like they do it when, like at the very beginning of the movie, where they're deciding who's going to make breakfast. They do it when they're going to take the bins out. And they do it later in the movie of who's going to go for the bulldozer, who's going to do this. They're constantly playing rock, paper, scissors. Now, our regular listeners will remember a few weeks back when Marc missed an episode of news because he was ill. On release of that episode, I asked you a question in the Instagram poll, which simply said, should I? And we received the first ever 100% yes. Now, on the episode that I know Marc didn't listen to all of, which makes this even better, I said I was going to ask the question. And the question I asked on the episode that people were answering was, should Marc face a quiz as a punishment for throwing a sickie? And that's what the listeners voted 100% yes to.
And I got 100%.
100%. Now,
oh, you bastards.
I'm a fair guy. And I know Marc doesn't necessarily want to play a quiz. So here's the deal. We're going to play one round of rock, paper, scissors.
Sweet.
If you win, you don't face a quiz and you take on a fun game, which is fun and happy and everyone will laugh. If I win, you take on a brand new quiz called Title Turmoil.
Oh, I kind of want to play that, though. That's brand new.
It is brand new. And I've got 4 or 5 quizzes that are bouncing around in the background that no one's seen yet that will make appearances periodically. So are you ready to play rock, paper, scissors?
I feel like I know you well enough now to know what you would pick off the first. But let me just give me a moment to compose my answer on what I'm going to do here.
And we're doing rock, paper, scissors. We're not doing the Big Bang Theory. I don't want a lizard or a Spock.
Oh, fuck. What's the rules? Do we 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
Not 1, 2, go.
This isn't Lethal Weapon. We're not deciding.
Right. 1, 2, 3, go.
And then go. That's it. Yeah. Ready?
Yeah. Right. 1, 2, 3, go.
Go. Ah, fuck. We both got scissors. 1,
2, 3, go.
Go.
Oh, you motherfucker.
I got scissors. Marc got paper. The fun game you were going to play was higher or lower. I was going to give you what a movie grossed and then give you another movie, and you had to tell me if that made more or less money. But you don't get to play that.
Fun. Let's do that.
Yeah, no, you don't get to play that. Instead, you get to play our new game, which is Title Turmoil. Here we go. Title Turmoil. So it's a new game. There's 10 questions, 10 points per question. Movies have a habit of when they make a sequel, they don't just call it number 3 or number 4. They call it Fury Road or Dream Warriors or Underpant Man or whatever. So I'm going to give you... I made that up. That may be a sequel to It's With You Now. It's With You Now too, Underpant Man. So I'm going to give you a movie and the number that it appears in the series, and you're going to tell me what the movie was called. So, for example, if it was A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, you would say...
Dream Warriors.
Exactly. So you can't pass and you have to give an answer. You'll do all 10 questions, even if you get one wrong.
Right, okay, cool. Let me open a beer, then I'm going to... Ready for it.
I love it. I hope the listeners are still playing the game where they count how many times they hear that in an episode.
Mate, I listened back to the Chunky Larry episode and I thought I was being so stealth as well. And this new microphone that I have picks up everything. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I think if there's ever one that's a little bit quiet, I do tend to amplify it slightly.
I even did something on that episode. I even did one where I put it around the back of my chair.
Yeah.
And did it behind my back thinking that it would help.
Yeah, it didn't. So here we go. Question number 1. Friday the 13th, 4.
Part 1, 2, part 3. Part 4 is the next one that I haven't got to yet.
You got to take a guess, even if you don't know.
I don't think it's part 4 though. I don't think it is part 4. I think part 3 is the last part.
Yeah, so this is Friday the 13th, 4. It's the 4th movie, and you need to tell me what it's called.
It's not Go to Hell. I think it might be Jason Lives.
It's not. It's the final chapter, which is ironic because they made about 25 more after this.
That's annoying because I would have put that at 6 or 7.
Yeah, no, that's number 4. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4.
The Next Generation.
It is The Next Generation. Well done, 10 points. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Dream Master.
It is Dream Master, so you're on 20 points now. Halloween 8.
Resurrections.
It is Resurrections. That's very nerdy. You've done that way too quick. Ghostbusters 4.
That's the newest one, right?
It's the 4th Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but...
It's the one that come after 1, 2, and 3.
Afterlife.
It is Afterlife. Well done. You're killing this. Absolutely killing it.
That
so
one nearly got me then. I didn't have a clue. It just all of a sudden came to me out of nowhere.
So what are you on now? You're on 40 points. So number 6, Gremlins 2.
The new batch.
It is the new batch. Yeah, it's correct. Hopefully they're going to get a bit harder. Otherwise, my new quiz is an absolute flop. Hotel Inferno 2.
Oh, Hotel Inferno 2 is something Chapel.
Going to the chapel and
don't, man. I need to concentrate on this game. Very important to me to do well. I don't know. It's something Chapel. I know it's something Chapel or...
You got to take a punt. You got to take a guess at something.
Hotel Inferno. Oh, man. Hell Chapel. I don't...
You're going to kick yourself. It's the Cathedral of Pain.
Oh, motherfucker.
Question number 8. Hellraiser 8.
Oh, fuck. Bloodlines.
It was Hellworld, and it's one of the best Hellraisers, in my opinion.
Isn't that like the Matrix-y computer one?
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
I dropped off after 3. I will pick back up on 4, but it's an effort, I'll be honest with you.
Sharknado 2, your favourite franchise.
I don't know.
And now mine.
Number
3 was called Hell No, if that helps.
Sharknado 2.
We've reviewed it.
I know we have.
Finn's going to be so disappointed in you.
What was 3? What was 3?
Hell no.
Hell no. Is it like Here We Go Again or something like that?
No, that was number 4. Sharknado 2 is the second one.
Oh, fuck off. That's not fair.
And the last one, question 10. Jaws 4.
The Revenge.
It is The Revenge. Another episode we've done that show. So what did you do there? You've done 10, 20...
6, 7,
30, 40, 50, 60 points. That's good.
Bad. I like that. That's a good game.
Do you like that game?
I do like that game. Yeah, I do like that game a lot.
Then that may make an appearance later with lots of other games, and we will play higher or lower at some point in the future.
We need to keep track of scoreboard. We just need to have like a bulletin board that has the scores for the quiz, because now we're doing old multiple people each week.
Yeah, I've kind of got a record somewhere. It's on a scrap of paper somewhere.
Yeah, we need to have something official that people can go and look at and see who's where.
Yeah, I will make an effort to do that in the next couple of weeks. If you like the organised nature of our show, be sure you give us a review. It's such a small thing to do, but it means a huge deal to the show. So 5 stars on Apple or Spotify and write something nice. If you don't want to do that, share some of our shit on social media. Anything you want. Retweet something. Add something to your story. Comment on something. Just get involved, because the more you do that, the more people see it. And they're really simple things you can do. If you want to go one step further, go to our shop and buy something. Just so you know, there are some more designs that will be coming on the 1st of December, all in time for Christmas, that are all going to be movie themed on movies that we've done since Marc joined the show.
Nice.
Yeah, lots of time sat designing. I've got some really cool t-shirts coming.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Really cool t-shirts.
Zoinks! 3-word reviews, man!
So after a lack of 3-word reviews last week, this week, as you can imagine, we were absolutely spoilt for choice. I really struggled to pick the best ones this week. You've got Imitation Dave, who I never actually give his Instagram account. It's Leprechaun, LEPREKON 81, and he's on Instagram and he's on Twitter. Need pogo sticks. We've got Golden Chainsaw, classic Kevin Bacon, and they're a horror review account. Let's Talk Horror Channel, Underground Monster Penises.
You know.
And he's a horror podcast, so that's BP, and he's a great guy. We've got Video Tasties, or Piano, what is he? Piano something else?
No, he's debunked it. I've messaged him today. He has debunked the fact that it's not him.
I saw him put a reel up, and I'm not convinced.
I'm not convinced either.
Genuinely not. But he's gone with Great Monster Movie, and he's got a great YouTube channel. Go and give Video Tasties a follow. We've got the OG Shape 1978. We killed it. And he's like you. He's a Michael Myers Halloween obsessive who shares everything you could possibly want within the Halloween world.
No, this guy is a lot more obsessive than I am. His collection is insane. Some of the memorabilia he's got.
Very, very cool stuff. And like the mask, he's got like a genuine, super, super cool account. And finally, we've got Rob's 3-word review, who's the 80s horror lover, who is just going to get featured every week. Every time he does it, he's getting featured because he interacts so much. And he's gone with...
You need to send him a T-shirt, by the way.
I do. And he went with Pardon My French. Thank you for everyone who gives 3-word reviews. This is still one of my favourite features. And I want... If you hear a 3-word review and it makes you laugh, or you give it a smile, or you go, fuck that guy, or whatever... Go and give these accounts a follow, because they take the time to make our show more entertaining for you. And for that, we're both really, really grateful, because without them, we need to fill 10 minutes of time, which we can't do. Facts this week are insane.
Low facts, low.
For the scene where Rhonda had to get, basically, she's being attacked by, they're actually called graboids, the creatures. They're referred to as graboids, is what they're named in the script.
Is that in this film, though?
No, they're not. But in the script, they are. So there's a scene where Kevin Bacon has to pull off her jeans and leaves her in her panties. She did not want to rehearse for that scene, and she didn't undress in front of Kevin Bacon before because she wanted her reaction to be authentic.
That's quite cool.
Yeah. And not being funny, I think for most straight women, if Kevin Bacon was pulling your jeans down, the reaction would be very similar to hers. Oh, 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 oh.
Where is Kevin Bacon in his career at this point?
Retired, maybe? No, he'd done a movie a little while ago, which wasn't very good.
No, not right now. I just mean at the time of Tremors.
This is after Footloose.
Oh, so he is massive then.
Huge, absolutely huge. One idea for the special effects crew was for the worms to have an outer shell. And when they come above the dirt, the shell would retract sort of down around the body. So it'd reveal like a slimmer inner worm. This was binned after they'd done a mock-up of it, and everyone burst out laughing, saying it looked like a cock with a foreskin.
The idea sounds amazing, though. It sounds great on paper.
Yeah, but they'd done a mock-up, and you can find pictures of that on the internet. You find videos on YouTube, and it looks like a penis when they pull the foreskin back. It's fantastic.
Oh,
so good.
I would definitely check that out.
There are only 2 interior sets for the entire movie. You've got Walter's store and Bert and Heather's basement. Everything else is shot outside.
Where is this filmed? Because it looks hot.
It's filmed in California, the desert of California.
Yeah, so it is definitely hot.
It's definitely hot. Prior to the film release, Kevin Bacon felt that this was an all-time career low for him. He said once in an interview, "I broke down and fell on the sidewalk, screaming to my pregnant wife, 'I can't believe I'm doing a movie about underground fucking worms.'" He would later retract that, saying it's one of the fondest memories I've got of his entire career and the most fun he's ever had making a movie.
He genuinely looks like he's having a great time doing this. And they all do as well. They all look like they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. The bit I said at the fence at the beginning, we're at fact point for that now. So where he misses the staple 8 times, that's Kevin Bacon improvising. He can use a hammer. And no one knew he was going to do that, not even Fred Ward. And he'd done it, and Fred Ward's like deadpan reaction was just genuine, just him trying to hold his shit together. And apparently they laughed afterwards. He's like, the director said, "Well, why did you miss this?" Like, "I just thought it'd be funny. Val's a young guy. He obviously didn't know how to use a hammer. So I thought that would be funny." He's like, "It's fucking great, but pre-warn us next time." Working titles for this film were Beneath Perfection, Dead Silence, and Land Sharks. One of the earlier designs of the creatures saw a shark-like fin that would protrude the sand as they went along.
Nah, Tremors was definitely the right way to go.
It definitely was. The license plate for Bert and Heather Gummer's vehicle is Uzi for you.
I didn't notice that at all.
And they've got a bumper sticker on the front of the car that reads "Free Afghanistan."
Wow.
I know. Wow.
I wonder if they're Trump supporters.
Yeah, I reckon they definitely are. Make America Great again. I've got a question for you. What character or what actress from the Marvel universe remembers this as her favorite movie growing up?
Scarlett Johansson.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is her favorite movie when she grew up. They changed this. They paid Kevin Bacon to come back and film an additional scene. So they put this out to test audiences. And at the end of the original cut of this movie, Val and Rhonda never kissed. And they went their own ways. Test audience would chant, kiss her, enough that they paid to go back and reshoot that scene.
Oh, really?
Which I think that's awesome.
Much? Do you know how much you got to go back and do that?
Come and spend another week in California on our dime. I don't think it cost a lot.
No.
I think he was like, so let me get this right. You want me to come back to California where you're going to put me in a 5-star hotel, feed me, fill me with alcohol, and let me kiss a beautiful woman? Yeah, I'll be on the next flight.
It's that story you just mentioned earlier about his pregnant wife. That must be her who's the lead actress in Smile at the moment then. She's great in that, by the way. That's Kevin Bacon's daughter.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Saucy or Sororsi or something. You call it Sororsi Bacon. She's a lead actress in the new horror film Smile. And that's actually Kevin Bacon's daughter. But I googled her age, and she's 34, which makes her 2 years older than me. And if this came out in 1990, which means his wife would have been pregnant with her while he was filming Tremors.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. How is it that your fact that you just off the cuff is better than the ones I spent hours researching?
Well, you kind of set it up earlier.
Yeah. But I'll let you round this one first.
Okay, right. This is going to be a difficult one.
You love it. It's a 10 out of 10.
No, I'm definitely not a 10 out of 10. One of my biggest gripes with this film is the score early on. I really, really hate the country hick sort of spoofy nature it takes. It's really frustrating and really annoying. It's weird, really, because I have a love-hate relationship with the score, because the first half of it, while they're doing all this silly exposition stuff, is infuriating. But once we get introduced to the grabbers, it takes almost like a Friday the 13th slasher style score, which sounds incredible. I'm like, why not just do that all the way through? You didn't need that slapstick stuff early on.
Yeah, the beginning of this movie is very much it's
weird, man. It's weird. It's really jarring. I didn't like it, and it took me a while to adjust to it. And I'm glad it didn't stick around for long, because once it did kick into the more serious tone, I say serious tone lightly for this film, once it did kick into that, the score to this is actually really, really cool, like really cool. And I was surprised at how well it was based upon the first stuff. I'm praising the score because there's not a lot else really going for this. The pacing's awful. The casting, Bacon's great, Fred's great. Rhonda's not actually too bad either, but everybody else around them feels like a parody of themselves. So I kind of got a little bit frustrated with the casting. The effects work, yeah, I can appreciate it for what it is, but it's very mediocre considering the time this film came out. Overall, this film's not great, but I would be fucking lying my ass off if I didn't say I enjoyed every minute of it. And it's a terrible film. It's a really, really bad film. But I actually really liked it, and I did have some major issues are the pacing. It did felt like I'd got about an hour in. I was like, oh God, I'm kind of ready for this to be over now. But I did enjoy my time with it. I did enjoy watching it, and I would quite happily watch this again. I think if I was really, really hungover, this would be perfect for me.
Yeah.
Just to sit there with a cup of tea and a few biscuits and be like, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to watch Tremors for an hour. That might sort my head out a little bit. And I'd enjoy myself and I'd have a great time with it. So based on that, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Even though it really doesn't deserve that score.
No, it really does. It doesn't deserve the score I'm about to give it either. Tremors, in my humble opinion, done more for Kevin Bacon's career within horror than anything else he'd done prior. Footloose done nothing for him in getting more horror movies. This did. This is what led him to roles in things like Stir of Echoes.
Hollow Man.
This was the birth of
the
horror.
Following.
Yeah, this is the birth of Kevin Bacon horror. And him and Fred Ward carry this movie on their back, with the rest of the cast and even the monsters being secondary at best. I would take a road trip movie of these two with no monsters, no side cast, just those two just doing odd jobs and just being them. And I'd love that.
Them trying to make it in a big city, that would be excellent.
Yeah, a little bit like Crocodile Dundee, where he goes to New York, but with these two. I'm all over
that. Brilliant.
It's not aged well. It really hasn't aged well. It holds up better than some others from this kind of time, but it's not great. It's fun and wacky, and for me, I look at it as the Tucker and Dale from 1990. This is how I see it. It's a buddy movie. I come back to this and this franchise quite a lot. I've got a love for this franchise that I can't really explain. I don't know if it's a nostalgia thing, but I can pick up any Tremors movie apart from the most recent one, which is fucking dire, and have a good time with it. It's a slope down from the first one onwards. It's a steady decline in quality and everything.
Wow, that makes me very, very curious how drastically bad these can get.
The last one is I can't even describe it. If I was
just Kennedy in that from Scream,
yeah, no, he's in the one before. The last one was 2018.
Right.
If I was to score the last one, I would struggle to give it a 1 and keep a straight face.
Wow.
It's just really bad. This, however, from me, gets an 8 out of 10 because I love it. I just can't not.
Dude, an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, just for pure enjoyment, not for anything else. Just that I absolutely enjoy even the dull bits on the rocks. I'll be honest, I'll skip them.
They're boring as shit, but
I'll fast forward bits on the rocks. I like it.
The conversations between them are still mildly entertaining enough to keep me engaged. It's just, it does suffer in those moments. I know what you mean.
It does. Tremors is available on Netflix in the UK until the 30th of November. So you've not got long. If you've not seen it, go and watch it on Netflix. In the States, you can't get this for free anywhere. You have to rent it, and you can rent it literally everywhere. We're back on Friday for horror movie news. And next week, we're doing a listener request, which is Army of Darkness. The silence from Marc does not fill me with the confidence for next week.
I'm saying nothing.
Marc, you promised last week that you were going to sign us off with a movie quote this week. So away you go, because I know you're well prepped today.
I actually am. I completely forgot I said I was going to do
that. So off the cuff one then?
Off the cuff.
Use posters behind you for inspiration.
What have I got? Oh, mate, none of those have decent one-liners enough for me to do.
Fuck off. What do you mean that you've got Jaws behind you? We're going to need a bigger boat. That is one of the most iconic lines in cinema.
Yeah, but that's not relations to goodbyes, is it? My Truman Show one last week was relevant. I can't just rock up and be like,
"Hello, Clarice."
Yeah, exactly. Right. I promise I will be back next week and I'll take this seriously. I'll do my research. But as for now, hasta la vista, baby.
You used that on news.
Did I?
Yes, you can't use that again.
Oh, mate, you know how drunk I get on news. I can't remember that.
All right, well, we'll let it slide this one time as you can't remember. So I'll let you do it again. I want the accent, though.
Hasta la vista, baby.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Before I forget, you want to die tonight?
Hypochondriac with asthma is in there.
I just lose all sense of equilibrium and I don't know what's happening.
I'm going to say 9 out of 10. Always enjoy watching it every time.
Windmills were fire hazardous.
You literally used the paycheck to pay for a house. That's all it was for.
Meeting someone for the first time, you wouldn't be talking like that.
Because he was so stoned, he'd like half fallen asleep.
You and Tasha are meant to be. I'll figure that shit out.
I just got fired yesterday. I'm free.
I swear to God, I'm gonna stick that wolf up your asshole.